Howdy, y'all! Right here for what? What?
This is not how Go works.
Well, I'll tell you what. This is definitely how to do the introduction. Howdy, y'all! I am Mrs. Snarky, and Mr. Snarky down there is my producer.
I am the producer.
Yay! And we're here with awesome panelists. We got Red Vencher is back.
Hey.
And we also have Faithless Southerner.
Hey.
And I would just like to take a second to explain what happened there real quick, if that's okay.
Oh my God, no.
So before we started, I said, okay, I'll say go and you go. Because when I say go, that's when I'm switching to the main scene. So it would show me on the page if I said go, and then Snarky doesn't start talking. And so I said go, I waited a second, hit the main page, and Snarky still wasn't talking. So you just got my awkward face. It's like...
That is perfect, and I approve. I approve almost as much as I approve of these otters.
And
these are cute otters.
Also the hashtag, I was muted because I didn't want my sound coming through because I wanted Snarky to be the first one, but you just got my awkward face.
Awkward! Well, for some reason, it's still like highlighted your face.
It's not highlighting my face anymore.
It's not? Okay, well, it is on my end. Well, now that everybody knows about our technical issues and why they happened and how it's all my fault, we're going to say, hey, look at these otters. Aren't they cute? What do y'all think?
Those are some very cute otters.
Yep.
Aww.
Otters.
Otters.
We oughta get to the show.
We otter.
Oh my.
So this right here, oops, I need to rewind it. Oh my gosh, it wasn't supposed to autoplay. So this was sent to me, I think, by hashtag, and it's really, really cute. Did you see it?
Saw something.
Ah!
Oh, there we go.
It just basically just mirrored what the little cub was doing. Ah! It's mama and baby. It's cute. It's really, really cute.
Or enough it is.
Them some crazy tigers.
Yep.
I don't think.
No,
Yeah,
those are bobcats.
Those. Oh my God. Okay.
No, neither of them are named Bob.
Yeah. How do you know their names?
How do you not know their names? I'm on the same softball team as they are.
Oh, you are?
Oh, wow. Really?
Really?
Yeah.
Because you said you didn't play sports.
Well, you know. Sometimes. See, I got to keep these things secret. People would think I was too cool.
Yeah, it's softball. That's what makes people cool.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah. We'll go with that.
Y'all ready to talk about Trump?
Sure.
I guess.
That's
oh my God. So all the things happen with Trump. Trump is now being impeached because apparently a few months back he got on a phone call with the president of Ukraine, said, hey, why don't you look into my political opponents and, you know, stuff, and then we might give you some of that weapons aid that you desperately need in order to save yourselves from Russia, because Russia's kind of being a dick. So yeah, apparently they put those phone calls, all the records for those phone calls, into a server that was primarily for classified information, not just phone calls with foreign nationals. And apparently they did the same thing with phone calls with President of China. Z, is it President of China?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
With President Z, and also with members of, oh my gosh, who were they? Oh, Of course, Putin was in that list, and also phone calls with Putin and phone calls with the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia were also classified and put into this server. So yeah, he's basically going out and he's asking everybody he fucking can to investigate Joe Biden and his son. And yeah, so this is the thing that's going on.
Look, if you're going to break the law, you want to keep that classified because you don't want people knowing you're breaking the law, even though you have every right to break the law because you're president, you can do whatever you want. But you don't want people to know that you can do whatever you want because they might, like, impeach you under the false pretenses that there's some kind of laws that the president has to follow.
Yeah, but you're not breaking the law. It was a perfect conversation.
Well,
his Twitter meltdown this week over the impeachment stuff was just glorious.
It was.
Like, I mean, that's you can tell he realizes he's in the shit with the way he's just screaming and hollering.
Oh yeah, like
y'all remember when oh, sorry.
I was just gonna say, just like this stuff right here, calling the Democrats savages and talking about the people who are investigating him as do-nothings.
Yeah. I wouldn't call the people impeaching me do-nothings.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
That's confusing to me. Right? Do-nothing Democrats, other than the fact that they're, doing the things to me.
You probably also wouldn't tell them about other conversations, then do the exact thing that you're being impeached for in front of cameras on the White House lawn.
Oh my gosh.
Implicate other people in your administration by saying they had calls too.
Yeah.
Johnny stole a cookie too.
That's so weird. He gets on there and whenever he's answering questions by the press, he goes out of his way to implicate Pence and Barr and everybody he possibly can. It's just wild. And here he is talking about Adam Schiff, who he's of course calling Lion Shifty Schiff. That's really clever.
Ooh, they had the hyphen in there that time.
Yeah, the hyphen. There you go.
It's right there.
Got to keep that going. That little hyphen.
Well, I would just like to say that I remember a time when the president taking a selfie in the Oval Office was deemed as not presidential. This week we've had the president of the United States use not just bullshit, but call people asses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Presidential.
And is acid washing even a thing? He says here, so Crooked Hillary, because he can't stop talking about Hillary, can delete and acid wash 33,000 emails after getting a subpoena from the United States Congress, but I can't make one totally appropriate phone call to the president of Ukraine. Which should. Now,
that's we're back to Hillary's emails. I'm so glad that we've come full circle here.
Is he talking I can't tell if he's talking about emails or a pair of jeans.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's the only time you acid wash anything.
Yes.
Look, everybody.
That's been dead for 20 years.
Dave steals cookies from the snack department every single week, and I can't kill one hobo behind the store. What is this?
And now he's accusing the Democrats of interfering in the 2020 election by investigating him.
Yeah.
By fucking investigating him.
Look, y'all just don't understand. Okay. This isn't about taking down a political rival. This is clearly, right? This is clearly about ending corruption. That's why he waited, 3+ years to investigate one person that happens to be his top political rival.
Yeah. But see, what's really weird about this is he says not only are the do-nothing Democrats interfering in the 2020 election, but are continuing to interfere in the 2016 election. They must be stopped. What the fuck?
How do you interfere with an election that's already over?
I don't know.
It's because if he's impeached, then that's them stealing the election, is the way that he's trying to spin this. And the way that other people are trying to spin this, like the conservatives are doing it.
Or have the Democrats discovered time travel?
Well, the thing about it is but you're not stealing the election, right? If he's impeached and removed, Mike Pence becomes president. It doesn't default to Hillary Clinton. Like that doesn't make any
it
sense.
Seems like from the way he's tweeting about Hillary, and all this stuff, it seems like that's what he thinks.
Scroll up a little bit. This is beautiful.
Where?
The impeachment Romney, because senators can definitely be impeached, because I know how the government works as the president of the United States.
Well, he was able to. I mean, Pelosi isn't Speaker of the House anymore.
Yeah, and so the people of Utah need to impeach Mitt Romney. Just
impeach Mitch too. Fucking Mitch Romney's bastard.
It's great. It's awesome.
But it continues to talk about a fraud. And of course, Fox News is scrambling to fucking.
I didn't get to hear right before this all happened. Apparently, Tucker Carlson, whatever that jackass's name is, said something negative about it.
Yeah, scroll up, Snarky. You went too far. I want to. Okay, so scroll up a little more so that I can read. Okay, Mitt Romney never knew how to win. He's a pompous ass who has been fighting me from the beginning. Except when he begged me for my endorsement for his Senate run, I gave it to him. And when he begged me to be Secretary of State, I didn't give it to him. He's so bad for ours. Mitt Romney doesn't know how to win and yet has won the popular vote in not one, but 2 states.
Yeah, that's got to be a stain of it. I mean, he did get him pretty good when he dangled the Secretary of State in front of his face. That was humiliating.
We don't even honestly know how that worked out. We don't know anything about what happened.
Yeah, but I mean, the images that we got in the press were, Mitt Romney sitting there at dinner with Donald Trump looking all somber and defeated and stuff. That was the way it was spun. But of course, the media just always shows Trump in a bad light. And
Mitt Romney, even if he wanted Secretary of State, I guarantee is thanking Kolob that he didn't get Secretary of State.
Yeah, I mean, even if he had, he would have, in order to keep any integrity, he would have had to have resigned. But yeah, he's saying it was a perfectly fine phone call. And
perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Schiff and Pelosi never thought I would release the transcript of the call. Got them by surprise. They got caught. What the fuck? They got caught in your phone call where you're trying to quid pro quo. He's still fucking money.
He's still pushing this thing. He doesn't understand hyperbole. Adam Schiff said it's like the president said this, and then reiterated at the end that he was being hyperbolic. The president doesn't know what hyperbole is.
But he sure as fuck claimed that what he said was hyperbole.
No, he didn't. He didn't claim that it was hyperbole.
No, if he says something.
Oh, if he says something.
It was a joke. It was a joke. It was hyperbole.
But he took Schiff talking about like this is like a mob boss kind of thing, going, oh, he's saying he's reading this transcript and it says that I never said I was a mob boss.
Yeah, that's. I know there were some other tweets in here somewheres.
Well, have you guys? I've been away from a while. But have you guys covered the official plan or argument that he sent to the Dems by mistake? They're supposed to go to the Republicans.
Yeah. And you've had Republicans get called on that in the national news that you're just giving the talking points that were in the paper you sent the Democrats. Yeah. I haven't seen any talking points. You're a lying asshole.
It's because I sent them to the Democrats, not the Republicans.
It's so crazy. This whole thing is so nuts. And it's so crazy that CNN has a page, 45, just all dedicated to all Trump. It's wild. I don't know if y'all checked it out yet, but it's something else.
What's the newest there? Scroll up.
White House says lawyers directed moving Ukraine transcript to highly secure system.
Well, that's not that new, but no, yeah, the lawyers, I'm sure they did. They were like, we don't want this fucking getting out.
Yeah, Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what they did because they're actually they're not Rudy. They're not Rudy Giuliani.
If it was a perfect call, why did your lawyers freak the fuck out about it and want it out of the public?
Yeah, that's one thing. And there's also been another whistleblower. I don't know much about it, but apparently this whistleblower is claiming to have information on Trump's tax returns.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to be fun. Maybe we'll finally get to see
There's
those.
going to
I
be so
doubt
many
it.
whistleblowers by the time this is over with.
Oh,
yeah.
definitely. Definitely. It's
Eventually,
it's a sinking ship at this point.
Yeah.
They don't want to get caught up in any of the legal stuff afterwards. They're going to try to get immunity and, blow the whole lid off of any and everything they can.
oh my gosh. Okay, presidential immunity. Wow. It's just so he thinks he's emperor of the world or something,
they're actually trying to claim that presidents are immune from impeachment.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Which
that's not.
I don't even know how to.
And he was calling for the impeachment of Obama, so he knows that's not the case. Like,
yeah.
Why would impeachment? Like anybody who says that is stupid. I mean, we had Clinton's thing, 20 years ago, and then we had Nixon before, Nixon would have been impeached had he not resigned. But
yeah,
why would they write it into the Constitution? The president can be impeached, but not really.
But Trump doesn't care about the Constitution in any way, shape, or form.
No,
he's never read it. He doesn't care about it.
He knows it's a beautiful document.
It's beautiful,
wonderful.
It's got words.
Pretty sure that when Frederick Douglass wrote it, it was amazing.
Oh, boy.
all the stuff about apparently all the stuff about Biden anyway is bunk, right?
It's been debunked. Like,
yeah.
Seriously, have you seen the information they were going on was like Alex Jones conspiracy bullshit, like George Soros shit.
Yeah, that's what it appears to be. It's. Go ahead.
Everybody's looking for that call.
President Trump's place on the world stage.
And the best was the photograph meme he posted out, and then Nickelback claimed.
Look at this photograph. Not anymore, motherfucker.
That was beautiful, wasn't it?
Nickelback's one of my favorite bands now.
They definitely got some snarky points for that shit. They sure as fuck did.
I mean, granted, it's fair use and it's it's abuse of the of copyright, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't care.
It's funny nonetheless, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's hilarious the amount of times that footage has been used in meme after meme after meme, and then Nickelback's like, "Oh fuck no, no further. We are stopping it here."
It's a lot better than Three Doors Down, who played at his inauguration.
Yeah.
Remember
when they were popular in 1997?
Oh, now they're basically kryptonite. Somebody out there chuckled for me. But yeah, I think the best take on all this has been the response from the Republicans. It's been wonderful. And here's a nice little satirical take on their talking points. Maybe I should turn it down a bit. It's usually pretty loud.
Start it over.
I am.
Okay.
Look, I don't see the problem with what Trump's
Okay, you're gonna have to stop it and turn it up.
Are you kidding me?
There you go.
Kidding me, right?
Nope.
Oh, look at the eyes. It's so weird. Okay.
Look, I don't see the problem with what Trump's done. It's not anything any other president hasn't done. And I mean, think about Hillary's emails and all the corruption that the Bidens have done. It's just awful. I'm just telling you that Trump is doing a good job. And This doesn't warrant impeachment. Nope.
Shut the fuck up.
Pretty much. Suddenly Moose.
That's me. If you didn't know.
Yeah, it is.
Wait, what?
That's me, Evans.
That was you?
That's me.
No.
It is kind of
Your
weird.
eyes aren't that big.
Mhm.
It is kind of weird, though, the links that supporters will still go to deny the fucking reality that Trump is a fucking, oh my God, he's such
40% of them say he didn't have a phone call with the Ukrainian freaking president.
Oh my
That
God.
he didn't ask the Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden.
I know.
40% of Trump supporters. I can find that
Look,
source.
this is going to be a shocker. This is going to be a shocker, Evans. Trump's supporters, not the brightest group.
What? Well, it seems like they almost either they don't read the news or they just I don't know. I really don't know. They must not be informed, or they're just getting their information on Facebook in meme form. I don't understand.
Yeah, who knows? I like the thing is they don't care. Trump is owning the libs.
And that's he's said it, right? That's what kills me. Like, you just take a stroll
keep
through
pushing this liberal propaganda, Evans.
Yeah, but it's him.
Look. It's
Trump.
No, it's deep state bullshit.
It's his Twitter feed.
No, they were out. The deep state does that.
He said it from the White House
no. That was
with his
CGI. CGI.
But
Look,
it
the sun revolves around the earth.
Look, we're spending a whole lot of time talking about Donald Trump here, but have we considered maybe Hunter Biden or Hillary's emails? Because I feel like we're spending a disproportionate amount of time. We need to be fair and balanced.
Yeah.
Fox News.
Like, I didn't know Biden even had a second son. I'm just admitting that until like a couple weeks ago. Like when it first came out, I was like, but his son's dead. And then it was like, oh, there's another son I've never heard about. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because who all was it that died in the accident? It was his wife and daughter?
Yeah, I think
so.
So.
Another kid too?
I don't know.
His son died of cancer.
Bo died of cancer.
Bo died of cancer, and his wife and his daughter died in the accident.
Yeah.
Poor Joe.
Yeah, that's rough.
I don't want him to be president, though.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
I hope he lives out the rest of his days happy and healthy somewhere else.
Somewhere far away from the White House.
Yes.
All right. So anything else on Trump? Is there?
That sucks.
It's just wild, y'all. Like, there's so much information coming out that I'm sure a lot of you've already heard over and over again, but you can't even keep up with the news. You're just so saturated.
Fake.
This is like if Watergate, instead of sneaking in to the Watergate Hotel, they had just run a Mack truck into it. I mean, that's really what I see.
Yeah, but it's more than just one little instance of corruption. It's all over the place. It's a network of fucked up corruption shit, and it's really hard to keep your focus on just one thing after another keeps coming out in the news, and it's like, fucking impeach the motherfucker.
Yeah, it's like drinking from a fire hose.
Yes.
At this point in time.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous. There's no way to keep up with it all.
It's like drinking from a fire hose filled with piss.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hashtag PP tape.
Oh gosh. No. No.
All right. So I guess what?
Is this Reds?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just reminding you. You said to remind you.
What do you mean remind me? I was on the page. Okay,
I
so
didn't see it.
Hashtag mom and dad are fighting again.
I love you. You're cute.
Alrighty. Well, so mine's just a little quick follow up. So in August, I released a video covering the outrage over the introduction of a female Ninja Turtle in the comic books, and so the people that get outraged about this stuff, they got the saying "Go woke, get broke," and that didn't happen for the comic book. So
What?
yeah, didn't happen. It actually it's done real well for it. So here's the August numbers, the diamond sales. So if you go down, I think it's like 44 is the sales for that month. So issue 97. So it wasn't the issue that Jenica mutates in. It's when she first puts on the yellow mask. Sold about 39,000 copies in August, which is the highest single issue of the run.
Here it is.
Oh wow.
Yep. And the top selling independent comic book in August. So
Wow.
it sold well. Before that, 95, which is where the mutation occurred, sold 29,000. 96 sold 30,000. In like 39,000 is number one sold. The debut issue of the run 8 years ago sold 35,000. Number 50 sold 34, and there was 44 sold 31,000. So this is
What about
that's
Get
something
Woke, Go
there.
Broke?
Yep. And so while it's number one in issue sold, number 50 was a double issue, so it was $8. So that 34,000 actually makes 50 right now, the best selling book. We'll see how well these numbers hold through going into issue 100. I got to imagine they're going to stay up above 30,000 with all the interest in it.
Wow.
Because 99 and 100 are going to be double size issues. So there's a chance that those two will sit as the most profitable books in the run.
But what about Get Woke, Go Broke? It's such a good. It's fun
It's
to
snappy.
say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, but see, scroll up. It did beat Captain Marvel, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did.
SJWs.
I was about to say something about that, but I just I decided against it. That's wild. That's really good though. I mean, I like it.
Oh, it's fantastic. The current, they're in going into 100, they're going into their version of City at War. So if your Turtles comics history, Mirage Volume 1, the original black and white comics, concluded with a 13 issue story arc, probably one of the greatest comic story arcs written, but most people have never picked it up because by that time Turtles was a kid's property. But so they're doing their take on it. It's a little different, and there's a lot of stuff. So if you're an old school, I know a lot of us are older, and even go back to a lot of the indie stuff from the 80s. There's going to be
80s.
So Sophie Campbell is going to come in with in December, start writing at least for the next year, most of the ongoing as the main writer. She's a big fan of the Palladium RPG. So there's already a lot of, so that was the first licensed property for Turtles that came out in 85. I don't know if anybody's played it.
No, I haven't.
No,
but I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it was pretty popular up until the cartoon came out. So there's going to be a lot of references to that. So they have a little spoiler. I'm not going to get too big into it, but there's a book in there called After the Bomb, and that makes a reference in 98 to that. So there's going to be a whole bunch of fun new stuff and a lot of references to some of that more obscure stuff. Next year.
That's pretty awesome. I like it.
Would you say that the Turtles are on par with Shakespeare?
Oh my God, no!
I mean, I'd say they're on par with everything else that these. This comic run has, for the last 8 years, has been critically acclaimed. Considered one of the most consistent runs in comics.
So basically,
don't worry, Red. You don't have to answer this. This is just a dig at me, and I'm taking the high road.
I was just curious.
This is just a dig at me, and I'm taking the high road.
I was curious. That's all there is to it.
Evans is canceled.
It is kind of interesting how a lot of the older stuff is being integrated into the newer stuff, and it's kind of got this continuum that's really cool. And representation, y'all. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
I like it.
So we'll see what goes on in the so 101, which will kind of be the new status quo, at least for the next year. We'll see what finally goes on with that. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff coming to it. So hopefully this keeps it going, because I've been reading it for 8 years. All the tie-in stuff. I love it. May do some videos, just kind of a primer in the future on, your 100 issues, or we're coming up to that in the ongoing, and there's another 100 some issues and minis, and they had a second book for a couple of years run alongside it. So there's a lot of story in this run. So I might do a primer for new readers that want to try to jump on.
That would be really cool. That'd be helpful for people like me who haven't jumped into it yet. And like I said before, I'll make sure to both link your channel and the video that you did on the Turtle series in the description after we're done here. It's a good video.
Yeah, thank you. I like that one. It's fun when, so I don't get into a lot of the other, so I'm not as well versed in like my Marvel or DC stuff. So when you get basically the outrage brigade, that's always going to hop on any little change, anything that they're doing with the movies. Most of them haven't read that stuff, I can tell.
Yeah.
So if you want, like, there's a good video that came out, Creationist Cat did.
Oh yes,
that was on some of that one. Yeah.
That was such a good video. Oh my gosh.
Good video. Someone who's read the comics and gone through, like,
yes.
And even then, like, I didn't see the whole Thor isn't a title argument stuff going on, because even I, who haven't read a whole lot of that, I mean, remember the original Donald Blake Thor stuff from the very beginning. So yeah, Thor was a title.
Yeah,
at one point.
A lot of people got that wrong just to own the libs, I guess, right?
Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know enough about that, but when enough large enough channels jumped on this and started complaining, it was fun just to dunk on them real bad. Like,
because they're out there grifting. They're riding the wave of outrage that they are projecting onto people, and it's just it's so disgusting, but it's also kind of comical because they're so fucking wrong.
Oh yeah, and you can tell that they're not really big fans. I think Evans and I have had this conversation a couple times in private hangouts, but the Hellboy 2019. So there's a whole lot of love for the Del Toro films, and so there's a casting decision, and it's kind of casting decision that they lose their mind over, but not a goddamn one picked up on it, because not a goddamn one has ever read the Hellboy comics.
Mm-hmm.
So oh my god, I'm blanking on the gal's name, but there's was she Irish or Scottish or something, but a redhead, a light-skinned redhead is little girl he saves, and in the comics and stuff like that. Well, in the movie they made her mixed race, and not a single bit on it. There was some coverage when they were going to whitewash Daimyo, but it wasn't any outrage thing from them, because that would be the kind of thing, or you would think they would kind of switch their position on it, but they didn't. So, but yeah, there was nothing on that bit of stuff there, given how revered the first two Hellboy films are in geek culture. Not a one has ever read the books.
No.
Right. It's funny too, because a lot of the people that get outraged about having multicultural representation in a lot of these films and games and what have you are actually propping up the very brands that they're railing against. It's so crazy, and they call SJWs reactionaries, and it's so great.
And what's funny, going back to the Turtles bit, had they, you can say, oh, you've never read this books and stuff, or you're not familiar at all with it, and you're only concerned about this one, because this Turtles book does do some of the stuff that would get him upset. Now, this was years before this was a cottage industry. I think the biggest outrage I could see in writing was remember that Christian homeschool mom from a few years ago that went to the museum and was talking about dragons and stuff.
Yes.
Well, apparently she's got a writing gig for PG Media or PJ Media, I think it is. And so in 2017, Sophie Campbell, one of the artists on some of the stuff that they've done, made some comments on Twitter about wanting to hit a button and seeing the Republicans, gone, kind of thing. And so she lost her shit on that and was bitching about her art. So it was part of that stuff. And at the time, she was doing a story arc in Turtles Universe, which is the second book, covering Karai's journey in Japan as the science stuff. So she got upset at the design of a new character called Matsu, who was, short hair, big muscled woman.
Nice.
On that stuff. And so she got mad at that and stuff. So that's about the biggest outrage they had.
Why did she get mad at that though?
Well, because they're changing the feminine, so it's like the She-Ra stuff. You've seen like the Quartering's take on the She-Ra cartoon.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of stuff. And there's other books she worked on. So she had helmed like the Gem the Hologram comic for IDW. She has her own creator story that's very LGBT and different body shape kind of girls and stuff story that way. So she's got a tendency for a wide range of body shapes and sizes for characters. Nice. So they're bringing that stuff up. But other things in this book. So there's a character from the old 90s Archie comics from Turtles, Mr. Null. So in this one, they gender bent him. So she's a Madam Null in this book. They took Jaguar from the Archie comics and gender bent there for them. They have the second because the Mirage, but the second instance of an LGBT relationship in Turtles comics introduced, and it just got beat out when Peter Laird decided to finish up one issue of Mirage that they had sitting on the desk after he sold it, and he released it about 6 months or whatever before this came out.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's a lot of the stuff they would be bitching about had they ever read it. So I just take it around like, yeah, that stuff's in there. It's done well. I mean, it's not any kind of intrusive. It's good to read, good characters, and it's whatever.
Yeah, it just seems like, this is the latest trend, really. The past few, 10 years or so is, let's get outraged about outrage culture that doesn't really exist. I mean, it kind of does on some scale, but most of the time I see people outraged over things that are just like, what? It makes no sense, especially when it comes to representation in media. That's always, well, maybe not always, but for the most part has been there their entire lives. I just.
Well, and so what I find funny, so I spent quite a few years watching kind of the growth of this industry, following it out of the atheist community and stuff, and all of a sudden you get introduced like the anti-SJW side. So there was, the ones bitching about it now were the ones that, said very early on, not like take the Quartering out of it. He's a latecomer to it. So he's there for that. But, in the early thing, yeah, make own characters, do this stuff, different body types. Yeah, sure, whatever. And now the kind of, bitching about, say, maybe the over-sexualization of certain characters or whatever, that seems to be the, or considered the SJW complaint is now, they complain about that complaint and let the artists do what the artists want to do, right? That was the early argument.
Yeah.
Now the outrage grifters are bitching, the SJWs are destroying, the SJWs are doing this stuff. What happened to letting the artist do what the artist wants to do?
Exactly. That's what it comes down to, doesn't it?
Yeah. What happened? Paycheck, right? Yep. I mean, the boomers out there want to want to bitch about how everything's changing for them and stuff. And it's like,
Yep.
wow, you guys really didn't pay too much attention to it. I mean, it's just weird.
That's what it seems to be like, though. It's just, oh my God, things are changing. I don't like change. Oh,
well, and it's not even changing in ways that are new, right?
Yeah.
It's the same stuff that's been in their media for decades.
Well, I guess now it's readily available because they can just look this stuff up on their phones and somebody else is talking about it, and it just kind of is a domino effect. I think. I don't know.
Well, I think part of it comes into there was those couple of studies that show that things that outrage us get us to click more.
Yeah.
So it's taking advantage of the algorithms, and so if you have something and you generate outrage, no matter what it is, what it's for, how legitimate it is, as long as it outrages certain people, they're going to click on it, and that's going to feed the algorithm, and so it keep giving us more and more stuff that gets us outraged.
It's almost as if human beings don't have very much control over their emotions. Oh, maybe we need some of that. We need the Vulcans to come and help us with that, I think.
I'm down for that.
Yeah. Come on, Vulcans. So anything else on this topic, y'all?
No, that's all I got.
That's all you got? I know that you had to go pretty soon. So
yeah, I got till 8 o'clock. So
you got till 8. Cool. All right. So what are we looking at next here? Oh my God. So there was an event that happened, and I will play this for you. Make sure it's down because don't want to blast everybody. So this was a thing that happened.
Not gonna be here for much long because of the climate crisis. We only have a few months left. I love that you support the Green Deal, but it's not getting rid of fossil fuel. It's not gonna solve the problem fast enough. A Swedish professor saying, we can eat dead people, but that's not fast enough.
So what Swedish professor was talking about eating dead people? What?
Okay, so there. It has to do with the moral argument. Like there is arguments on whether we could eat our dead, but it's not like mainstream.
I don't know.
It's a really, really obscure paper that this professor wrote on eating the dead people.
Well, I don't think we're quite there yet. Maybe if there's a zombie apocalypse or something. I mean, even then it would be like, oh, I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, this is a town hall meeting, and this woman started talking about this stuff. So we'll continue.
So I think your next campaign slogan has to be this: we got to start eating babies. We don't have enough time. There's too much CO2. All of you, you're a pollutant. Too much CO2. We have to start now, please. You are so great. I'm so happy that you're really supporting the Green Deal, but it's not enough. Even if we would bomb Russia, we still have too many people, too much.
Even if we would bomb Russia, what the hell? That's a weird thing to have in there.
And when I first saw this, I was like, this is either someone that's completely out of their mind or it's a complete troll.
Yeah. And for me, it was like, it hit, and I know I talked to y'all about this, but it seems like she was trying to have some kind of accent or something.
Yeah, it's fake.
Yeah, the accent's pretty bad, especially if she's claiming Swedish. I mean, that's not a Swedish accent.
No,
I'm
not
sorry.
at all.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Pollution. So we have to get rid of the babies. That's a big problem. Just stopping having babies is not enough.
And the look on AOC's face is just like, okay, I'm seriously concerned. We need to get this woman help. And it's really like, I think she handled it very well.
Yeah, as well as you can when you have something crazy like that.
No, she didn't specifically say that we weren't supposed to eat the babies, so she endorses eating the babies.
Yeah.
Ha. Own the libs there.
That's how that works.
I haven't heard you say that you were against Hitler, Evans, in the last hour. I'm against Hitler.
Maybe I'm for Hitler then.
Oh,
whoa! I didn't even know that. I thought for sure I was against Hitler, but maybe I'm not.
Just breaking Godwin's law, just all over the place.
Yeah. I don't even think we have to watch the rest of it. Just
no.
It's a troll.
Yeah, and like we said, they came out. This group came out. It's a pro-Trump group called Larouche PAC, far-right group that supports Donald Trump. And they came out and they were like, "Hey, we did this. This was our operative." And yeah.
In the Larouche PAC and Larouche, the guy that it's founded on, that's a cult.
Yeah. And
it's literally a cult. It's a political cult.
And calling it
it's the first I've heard of them, so I have no idea about the background.
Calling it a far right group is really downplaying what they are, because they're a hate group. They are racist, anti-Semitic, just a hate group. But because of our politics, they get to be a pack.
Yeah, and they started off as a left-leaning, way back in the day. Whenever it first happened, it was like a socialist, democratic, socialist organization. And then, at least to best, it's very hard to actually find any factual information on these people because so much of their stuff is misleading.
Yeah,
and you can tell that they have a bunch of like their websites and the things that are linked. But the best that I could tell is it started being really, really picked up on by anti-Semitic people getting into the group and just straight up Nazis. And then it moved further and further to the point that it is now where it's extreme alt-right hate group.
Yep. And that's all this was. It was just a troll. But there wasn't really a way that AOC could have handled this.
No.
That they wouldn't have. Because if she had just come out and said, no, we're not talking about this, you got to go, you would have had the right wing coming out going, AOC hates people who are obviously mentally impaired because of this woman here. If she would have said, okay, well, we'll talk about that, but let's just move on, they would have said, oh, she agrees. She said she's going to add it. And by just kind of moving on and going, okay, that was weird, they act like she agrees with it because she didn't specifically call it out.
And what was so weird about it is, the Larouche organization tweeted out, the hate group tweeted out, it was us. Malthusianism isn't new. Jonathan Swift knew that. Sometimes only satire works. Satire? This is not satire.
Yeah, this is very, very, so if you want to claim it's satire, if that's what you're doing, then the criticism built into the satire, because that's what satire is. It's a criticism of your opponent or a certain thing, right? So, at best, if you want to call it satire, is some of the alarmism kind of going beyond what the science is actually saying in AOC's case. So that would be my criticism of AOC. But this is a far-right group that doesn't believe climate change is real at all. So you're not satirizing what you think you're satirizing if you're claiming it's satire. But there seems to be a hell of a lot of people that don't understand what satire is.
Yeah, this truly is.
It's just it's really weird because if you're saying it's satire, there's a point, there's a message, and what you're arguing is the satire leads to this criticism. It's not.
Look, our president, our president knows the best words. Satire isn't that great.
It's a bad word.
It's a bad word, so we're going to move on.
It's really funny here because it highlights that President Trump tweeted about it, and he was like, AOC is a whack job. So apparently it says here that he likely had no idea that the woman was a Trump supporter. So it's like, your supporters are whack jobs. Good job.
And and the satire. I mean, Swift was a modest proposal, right? That's the name. That's why we're bringing up his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the modest proposal was about a criticism of the goofy policies they were doing to try to quote unquote help the poor, right? So that's what the satire was about. That there's better policies or things to do that more direct to help instead of some of these weird convoluted ideas they had to try to help the poor.
Yeah, all this was interrupting a
congresswoman. It's basically TPUSA crawling around in baby pen and diapers.
Yeah.
Grown adults doing that. It's like
yeah. And it also kind of reminds me of the time when they were talking about defunding Planned Parenthood, and they had all these videos and stuff like that were just whack, but people believed them.
Project Veritas. They need to go. I mean, there's got to be something for producing like that false things, like knowingly false stuff and cut through. I mean, I don't know what there is or what we can do, but that's.
And now they have the technology. I know Jordan Peterson was upset about it, where they can actually emulate your voice, anyone's voice, and make it say whatever the fuck you wanted to.
That was a glorious few weeks while that was up.
And
that was oh my god, that was the most fun ever.
But now people are using it against the president, making it seem like he committed treason in the White House lawn.
Yeah.
It's really
don't
scary,
give them ideas.
Scary technology and stuff that way. For how it could be used for malpurpose stuff, but like the fun stuff coming out of that Jordan Peterson thing was like I'm willing to compartmentalize the dangers of this technology just because this was
it was hilarious,
so much fun. Oh my god, like reading like far out there, like furry fetish kind of thing coming out of Jordan Peterson's mouth, or him dubbing a gay porn.
People had fun with that.
If that's all it was used for, that's perfect. That's perfect. Give me that all day to dunk on that stuff. That was so much fun.
Wait, so your idea of perfect is Jordan Peterson dubbing gay porn?
I just being able to put something like that, saying just something they would never say, and just hearing it come out of his voice is funnier than hell.
We've discovered Red's kink. We are not going to shame.
Well, no. My kink is dumpster fires on the internet.
Oh, okay.
That's right up there. That's the only time I get hard.
I'm pretty sure that we've identified Red as a postmodern neo-Marxist.
Yes.
Definitely. All right, so the next story is loading. So
you're just not even going to let me talk about my stories. You're just going to do your two stories. I'm not even going to talk about nothing.
You know what? Talk about your story.
Well, I don't remember what my stories were now.
I thought it was the war and sex scandal.
Well, that was one of them, but I had another one. But
I didn't see another one. I just saw that.
No, there was another. It was my first topic, but I don't remember what it is now, and I can't open it.
Talk about the war and sex scandal.
I don't want to talk about the war and sex scandal. I want to find out what my other topic was. So I'm opening it. I'm opening it. We are super professional here. Snarky skipping over me is just fine.
Maybe she knew that you forgot it.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe I wouldn't have forgot it if she hadn't skipped over me. Okay, so here's my the war and sex scandal is my first one. Okay, so
and I have no links to put on the screen. Sorry.
Folks, we have a serious problem. I can't even satirize this. This is just it's like I was gonna try, but I can't. It's just so some right-wing trolls came out and attempted to say that Elizabeth Warren had sex with a 24-year-old Marine and that she had scarred them because it was some kind of BDSM thing. But like who fucking cares?
Well, they couldn't even make it through. Like, I watched the video. They couldn't even make it through the press release without giggling like a bunch of schoolboys and looking at each other. And
like
it's so ridiculous.
Jacob Wall.
Yeah, the whole thing just is ridiculous. It's like, what? No one cares. We have a sex abuser as president right now. I don't care if people had consensual BDSM sex, even if it were true. Like,
well, I mean, even
cares?
if it was, I mean, is that supposed to make me hate her more? I mean,
I think a lot of people.
Like, all right, I'm in Elizabeth Warren's corner.
Yeah, there were a lot of women reacting to that, like, yeah, get it, girl. It was wonderful.
Like, I'm supposed to be, take that as unpresidently. It's like, why? I mean, how it'd do better for like some of this stuff. Not saying people have to make their private life stuff there, but like you mentioned, hey, you're into something like this, and normalize these things, right? I mean,
yeah, the next president could jack off on the White House lawn with shit covering himself, and I would or herself, and I would just be like, at least they're not tweeting.
Well, and the long-standing joke is that we will have a YouTuber president at some point in time. So I mean, it's out there.
No.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god. TJ Kirk.
Nah, he's too lazy to do that stuff.
No,
that's your saving grace.
Wait a minute,
He tried. Do you remember the what was it? His Scum initiative from like 2010.
Yeah.
This whole let's start a movement and stuff there, and it fizzled out into nothing because TJ's a lazy,
It didn't work well for Sargon, so I'm holding out hope that maybe the YouTube president isn't actually.
Yeah,
I mean,
the thing that.
Well, I mean, I'm not saying like a YouTube president, like a YouTuber that does any stuff there, but given the prevalence of everybody on YouTube, in the future, you're gonna have, the somebody who has that history that's gonna come out of those ranks. I mean,
you could. I just look at it like Evan said, like the Sargon thing. Most YouTubers, even YouTubers that have like 50 million subs, are still just YouTube famous. Like they're not,
but
they don't have the clout that like say a Brad Pitt would.
Look,
but I mean, you could say something like, so take some of those that make the jump. Like now, I don't think any of them have any interest in politics, but there are some that do. So whether it's like a Lily Singh or was it Joji who did Filthy Frank kind of stuff that are now doing traditional media star stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's going to be a lot of back and forth coming. I mean, with the growth and popularity of these social media stars, there's going to be a lot of them.
Look,
making that jump.
I would like to see a hashtag heathen presidency. Make it happen.
Yeah. Well, and it doesn't necessarily have to be someone who's big on YouTube either, right? So it could be one of us that decides to get in local politics, and all of a sudden, years down the road, we're running for president.
I will never run for president.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it either. So
I would hate that.
I will not be running for president either.
No.
I will allow myself to be appointed queen.
Okay. But no, to go back to the story. So it's just ridiculous. We have a president currently in office that bragged about the lovely times that he spent on pedophile air with Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to give a shit about a consensual sexual event. Why?
Because these people don't fucking understand that consent matters.
Well, they don't understand anything.
It doesn't even occur to them.
Well, let's. This is just something popped in my head. We find with if you ever read the articles on like the Pornhub statistics and stuff, we find those that generally in the more repressive things. So I wouldn't be surprised if this won a lot of favor for Republicans for Warren if it were true.
True.
Right? I mean, they're the ones that are likely to watch, to watch all that stuff that's taboo.
Yeah.
Just saying.
It's possible.
Oh, Oh,
there's a little backfire for that.
I could see her wearing some leather. Yeah.
But it's just a ridiculous story. It's just like, why? And like Evan said, they couldn't even get through their own lie without laughing. And basically all it was, it's just a troll. They were just looking for attention, and they ended up getting it, but no one cares.
Yeah, but when they did get it, I saw one of the press conferences that they held. There were a bunch of people just laughing at them. Oh, you think this is funny? This is serious.
Yeah, and this isn't like the first hoax that Walls tried to do with these sexual scandals with politicians and other famous figures.
Right? No doubt.
He's well known for it. So it's at this point, it's the boy who cried wolf.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, with that said, it's 8:00 on my time. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm gonna have to hop on. I got a movie date tonight. So
thanks for stopping
Later,
by.
Red.
Bye.
Have a good time.
Oh, I still can't. There's still people that believe this, though.
Yeah.
There's still people out there that they don't care what it is, as long as it owns the libs, they'll believe it.
The thing is, they weren't supporting Warren to begin with. This did nothing.
Yeah, of course. It gave us something to talk about.
Yeah.
Me to try to skip over talking about anyway.
Oh, no.
Oh, anything else?
Nope. I got my second topic, so don't forget that.
We'll talk about that.
You want me to talk about that now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to preface this real quick, because a lot of people maybe are listening and they're going to take this as I'm attacking one of the presidential candidates. I am not attacking a presidential candidate. I am just pointing out a double standard. So yeah, there's the preface. So earlier this week, Bernie Sanders had a heart attack, and I don't think it's controversial for me to call it a heart attack, because they've finally come out and said it was a heart attack. But Sanders had a heart attack, and he's recovering and going to go back into the campaign very soon. Probably going to be at the next debate, and I have no problem with that. I have absolutely no issue with Sanders continuing to run. But being the fact that I have a memory that lasts longer than a couple seconds, I can remember the last election when a candidate had a fainting spell, and not just a fainting spell. At one point, she coughed during an event, and people were calling for her to drop out because she wasn't healthy enough to continue running. And I'm just pointing out the double standard in this, that the male candidate that people like has a heart attack and has to have surgery in order to fix that, but it's cool. It's cool. Nobody's mentioned, no one's questioning whether or not he should stop running or anything along those lines, and I'm not saying that they should. But we have to keep consistent. And acting as if a heart issue is fine while a coughing fit and a fainting spell was the end of a campaign in the past, and I'm talking about both sides were pushing this. You had the right was pushing that she's dying, that she has some kind of serious medical issue, and you had the left saying that she should drop out and just let Bernie take it.
Yeah.
It's a double standard, and it was ridiculous. And I think we need to try and be a little more consistent, especially in terms of politicians, especially if we're wanting to push equality and not come off as blatant misogynists in this sense.
Yeah, and be consistently good with this.
Yeah.
Be understanding. Don't be consistently, they should drop out if they cough.
Well, like I said, I'm glad that Bernie is going to continue the campaign. Go ahead.
Yeah, definitely.
I have no qualms of saying that I'm not a Bernie supporter.
Yeah, me neither.
But
Cancel.
I'm glad that he's still campaigning. I hope I'm glad he's recovered, and I hope he goes out and does his best. And if it came down to a general with Bernie in the general election, I'd vote Bernie.
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you see blatant hypocrisy like this, I think it's good for us to call it out and say what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And it's not like, they can take it back or anything else, but we can learn from it.
Yeah.
In the future, when this happens, because this kind of thing happens, hello, it's life, be consistently empathic about it. Have some empathy.
And I mean, with that said, I swear to God, and that's God with a GAWD, because I don't actually believe in God, but I swear, if I hear any talk about if one of the female candidates makes it to the general, if I hear any talk from any of my friends about women not having the temperament to be president, I will flip my shit.
Yep. Women are too emotional to be president. You didn't know that? I mean,
witch hunt, presidential harassment.
Yep.
What's so ridiculous about that is like, it's just blatant misogyny, because you have people come out and go, well, what if it's that time of the month? But
fuck off.
So you can't even run for president until you're 35, and most of our candidates don't run until they're in their 50s. Do they not understand that?
No.
That menopause is a thing?
No.
Wait a minute. What if one of their balls swells up? I mean,
What if they get a testicular torsion while playing golf?
I mean, you never fucking know. If we're gonna bring genitals and secretions into this shit, anyway.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah, that was the thing that just happened.
That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Let's never talk about genital secretions again.
Oh, come now, Evans.
All right, so Rick Perry is expecting to resign next month.
Oops.
I didn't even know Rick Perry was still a part of the government.
Yep.
I'm being serious. I didn't know. There was a report this week that said all the people that were still a part of the administration, and there's 6 people. Yep. I had no fucking clue.
It's amazing.
But he told them he was going to resign. Apparently it came days after the top Democrat on Senate Foreign Relations Committee sent questions to Perry related to his travel to the Ukraine amid all this scrutiny of the Trump administration. Wow. So you think maybe he's Rick Perry's kind of not exactly a, what do you call it? Straight and narrow kind of dude, right?
Perry's going to be a flipper.
Yeah.
I have no doubt that he's resigning because he's writing up his information to give.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking.
He's currently working out his plea bargains.
Yep.
Yep. They're in talks.
Yeah. Apparently he had traveled to Ukraine during the time of the inauguration. He had contact with them, and he he's always been kind of not at the center of, but kind of we kind of wondered about him because of all the oil in Russia and all this other stuff, and him being appointed to the energy department was weird, especially since wasn't he the one that couldn't remember the energy department?
The energy department was the one that he couldn't remember.
Yeah, so that's fun. Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
This is only gonna get better, y'all.
Yep.
From here on out. we're at the tip of the iceberg.
So do you think he's just like gathering up all the evidence he can so he can skedaddle?
Well, I think he has it. I think he's just ready to jump off the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's working out plea bargains. Like, here, I'll give you all of the information if you don't put me in jail.
Yep. I'd like to run for president again.
Yep.
Oh, please don't fucking do that, Rick Perry. You're awful. And I know you're awful because you were my governor for a while.
Hey, you know what? What can save a state money? The Rick Perry way?
Oh,
running prisons critically understaffed.
Yes. Proven way to save money.
He's awful. He's just fucking awful, y'all. And like, I hate to see who's going to replace him, but at the same time, it's like, this is I'm kind of happy about it.
Nobody will replace him.
No, it'll just be like
Trump won't refill that. The deputy director of the energy secretary, the director will take over, and that'll be it.
Oh, that will be a smooth running ship right there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right, so I guess we'll move on to whatever the hell I have next here. Apparently it's a tweet. Oh, this is so cute, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
This is amazing.
I don't know if everybody can see this, but they're lemurs walking backward.
No.
They're not
That's
lemurs?
Littlefoot.
Littlefoot.
I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Then I was like, oh, wait.
They're tiny brontosaurus.
I was like, Hovind was right.
I think I might have to close some of these because it's not working very well. Anyway, here's that again, so we can actually see it. It's
amazing.
Adorable. I love it. I loves it. All right. Dang it. Okay, this is.
Just close all the ones you've already done.
I am. You got to quit.
Like a rose that somebody gave.
You need to quit yelling at me. Okay. Just
yelling?
Quit yelling. Oh, all right. So we've seen that. And I love this one. This is amazing. Just watch this kitty. This kitty's like, I'm just laying here. Don't mind me. Just a really, really, really tired kitten. Just want to lay next to my friends. I'm not at all thinking about the fish. That fish is nothing to me. I'm just so tired that I just can't even bother with it. It's just not even, oh, let me just give a little nibble. Oh, I sneak very carefully. Very carefully. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm going to run away. Oh.
That was smooth.
It was. You go, kitty. Good job. Very good job. All right. And this one.
Oh, boy. Oh, God.
That's how you want fed.
Yes, This is exactly how I want to be fed.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. All right.
AI is going to take over the world, y'all.
Yeah, totally. So I moved today. And,
wow.
Yeah, I moved the whole house.
That is fucking impressive right there.
Can you imagine being held up in traffic with that thing?
Oh.
I can't imagine the logistics. Oh my, look at these people.
That would be horrible.
Having to move the fence. Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Like, why do this? Why, you guys?
Oh wow.
You'd have to shut down the entire fucking freeway for
How did they get the permit for that?
I don't know.
I mean, because they've got a sheriff's car sitting in the intersection there directing traffic.
Yeah.
Like, this was a big deal.
They had to have gotten permission. And
this poor person's fence.
Yeah.
This reminds me of when they were setting up windmills here in Iowa, and they were transporting the pieces, and they took out part of the library here because they took the turn a little too sharp.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you get. You'd have to have a damn good reason to move house, though.
That guy in the yellow shirt actually died from that I-beam hitting him right before the camera cut.
Oh damn!
Oh no! Rip.
He was fixing to get taken out. That was not OSHA approved.
Is rip appropriate to say at this instance? I don't know.
F in chat. Yep, that guy right there. See that I-beam? He's done for.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's totally done.
Yep. Oh no, he ducked. I didn't see that the first time.
He survived. He ducked.
He didn't have his hard hat on though.
He's gonna live. So this is a thing that I think that Evans needs to try this. He needs to do the bourbon Tide Pod challenge.
What? But it's not. They're cocktails.
They're cocktails.
Yeah, they're mixed cocktails in a pod form. I am all for this.
Are you?
No.
You're pro the pod?
I am pro pod.
Why would you waste Glenlivet in a cocktail?
I'm pro pod.
Pro pods.
This
I wanna hear.
It blew up in my mouth.
Evans, this is the future. Get used to it.
I don't like it. I don't want it.
I want to hear from people.
I won't be able to afford this because of the tariffs that Trump just put on single malt scotch. So it doesn't really matter.
But is it on pod form?
It's Glenlivet, so yes.
What do you in the chat think? Are you pro pod or
no? This is terrible, chat. Don't.
I'm just gonna say the chat's wrong.
Let them speak for themselves, and I like this take from it.
As Zaphod says, that is wrong. Scotch is served neat.
This is the best take, in my opinion. No. Who looked at a glass of scotch and was like, you know what? Tide Pod.
Who looked at a glass of freaking Glenlivet, right? Like, I mean, 12 or 18 or 20. You don't do that.
Don't do it.
Do it.
I mean,
I love the future.
Oh.
I think they should make it in pill form. Where you don't even taste it. You don't taste anything. You just take it and you get drunk.
No, that's so wrong.
Look, I'm okay. Okay, I'm okay with the pods. If it was something like Absolute and cranberry juice, right? Like, but this is single malt scotch. This is like you don't.
I'm going to assume it's not actually their good stuff.
What? I don't know. The good stuff in the pods. Oh, speaking of the future, we are going to have after show.
I thought you were going to show my other videos.
Your other videos?
Yeah.
I was not.
You had said you were.
I said I was going to show a video.
Said you were going to show them.
Well, we'll show it in the Snarky space. How about that? I've renamed my after show to the Snarky space.
Work.
I'm talking about shit. So, I've renamed my after show the Snarky space. So, $1 a month gets you access to the Snarky space. You get to come in and chat with us. And yeah, so that'll be here in a little bit. And yeah. Maddie made some videos today.
I did.
You should go check out Maddie's Twitter. Watch those videos. Okay.
They're funny. I like them.
Yeah, they're very funny. All right. Damn it. All right. You are driving me crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play your videos. All right.
Okay.
Yay.
Because you're just.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine?
God damn it, Karen, no.
Fucking Karen.
Yeah.
Maddie will be starting a TikTok channel soon.
I might.
Seems likely. I love this one. This one is great.
Space Force, day 323. Still no Klingons. Pretty sure Trump thinks they're Klingons. Oh well. At least the food's good.
That was the last one, right? We already did this one.
I did a couple yesterday, I think, but
Yeah, well.
You want to scroll.
I don't want to scroll. I've done enough scrolling. You have some weird shit on your profile.
I do.
All right. So we're looking at the fourth. We're looking at,
right
my
there.
God.
There you
That's
a thing. But...
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
David Silverman can fuck off.
This is probably my favorite one I've made.
This is my favorite one too. I watched it over and over again.
What are you looking at, punk?
Nothing.
What are you looking at, punk?
Nothing.
Nothing.
What are you looking
All right. So that's the show, guys. Everyone, y'all. That's the show. We're done. Show your channels.
I have a channel.
I also have a channel.
Red Vencher's not here, but he also has a channel. I have a channel. I have a Patreon if you want to join that show. Do that. Give me all the stuff. And yeah, make sure that you know yourselves and stay snarky.
Yeah. And I'm supposed to do something here. Crap.
Special thank you to all my wonderful patrons. I really appreciate your support. Also, like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss another snarky video. Don't forget to know yourself and stay snarky.